3 years ago, we would go out and look at houses. I was almost prepping clients for war. What is happening currently in the 2026 spring market? What I'm telling my buyers and having conversations with my sellers, it is a good time to move right now. The inventory is up in Columbus, up in Powell, up in Dublin. Days on market have been a little longer than last year. The month's supply is 1.6. From the buyer's perspective, you have a little bit more breathing room. Yes, there's still bidding wars, but you might not be going up against 10 other offers. We're not seeing offers where they're waiving inspection and putting large non-refundable deposits down. You actually have a chance to get the house you want and feel good about what you're offering. But then on the flip side, for sellers, especially if you're selling and you're moving up in the same market, you're still getting the price you want. What I prepare my sellers for is prices right in the location. They definitely should expect list price, even higher if they get more than one offer. It's just not the 5 years ago when their neighbors sold, getting 20 offers in and going 50, $100,000 over. But yet they're reaping that benefit right now because now that was an old comp and they're selling for more than that. 3 years ago, we would go out and look at houses. I was almost prepping clients for war. The list price is just the starting point, and if you're not willing to do these 10 things to get the house you want, this might not be the market for you to buy in. This year, we're not having those conversations. We still need to be competitive. You absolutely still need to be pre-approved and ready to go and know what a strong market is, know your comps. Be prepared that you may need to go over the list price and sweeten the deal with other things like taking it as is, but it's not quite as fierce and competitive. And like I had said earlier, there's some breathing room. You can ask for inspections and maybe even get remedies. And it really just depends how long the house has been sitting in the market. If it's the first weekend, I tell my buyers not to expect those things. But if it didn't go into contract for some reason, it doesn't mean was not a great house. It's just an opportunity to negotiate the terms that you want. I think we've all settled on that interest rates aren't going down. The six is good. If it goes down a little bit, that's a bonus. There's a couple things going on with the longer days on market right now. It's really about preparation. There's three things that sell a home: price, location, condition. If your price is right and your location are great, meaning you don't back up to a negative electric pole, either you're not on a busy road, your location's great. It's really the condition of your house, and a lot of that goes into the prep. A house that goes quickly on the weekend, the pricing and location are great, but they've fixed up their condition, they've power washed, they've painted, they've done all the things I've told them to do, declutter, to present their home in the best light. Those are the homes that are still selling the first weekend, the first week on market. The days on market are low. The ones that I'm seeing that are sitting a little longer, if the price looks right and the location, it's always the condition. They haven't prepped their house. There might be a lot of deferred maintenance, rotted wood around the trim on the outside, or siding that needs to be painted, landscaping. Those are the things that buyers are factoring the costs in their head. And they look at the list price and they compare it to the house in the same neighborhood that was well maintained and the seller took some time to prep the house before they listed it. They're not seeing the value. Those homes then are tending to sit longer and then they chase the market down. I've had it even on our own listings. I can only give recommendations to my sellers as to what to do to get their homes prepped. I have those hard conversations of pointing out the negative things that buyers I walk through with a buyer's perspective and share that with them. But it's really up to them. It's their house to sell, what they choose or don't choose. Sometimes they don't necessarily have the time or money. And I've seen it sit on the market when the house just needed some paint, maybe some light fixture changes, some landscaping around the house. I would never tell somebody to take cabinets out or replace countertops if they're not going to get the ROI. It's the little things that you can do to prep your house. And the house sat for 90 days and they took a lower price than if they had done the work up front and put that money up front. Then on the flip side, I've had houses where they've done that, where we've had a little cosmetic painting around the house and landscaping and did some small minor cosmetic things in the bathrooms, staged the home, and in that same market, it's getting multiple offers. There's several things that sellers can skip that can cost them the most, but if I had to pick one, It's really getting their old furniture out of there, like the big older furniture. And I get it. Sometimes they're keeping the furniture, it's getting a storage unit, but buyers want to see themselves in their house and not older, bigger, clunky furniture. You want the space to look as big as possible. It is a big ask to have sellers remove their furniture, but I'm telling you, they get the best possible outcome when they do. When I meet with a seller to discuss listing their home, we talk about the prep. It's ideal to have about 4 to 6 weeks out in those discussions. There's usually always something you can do to prep your house. First step is always to meet with a realtor, me, then it's typically decluttering. We want to make rooms as big as possible, depersonalize the house. So we'll go room by room and tell you what to do. Paint, touch up paint or neutralizing paint is another thing. Your curb appeal, a lot of times it's power washing the siding, power washing sidewalks, landscaping. I always say to my sellers, if you were selling your car, you'd take it through the car wash and get it all sparkly. The same thing with your house, window cleaning. It's the little things that when a buyer walks in and see how well maintained your home is, they feel more confident in their decision to purchase your house. 6 weeks of prep for a seller in Powell between that 600 and $900,000 range really looks like getting your home show ready. It's that curb appeal. It's that buyer's first impression as they walk in up. Your yard is well manicured. The sidewalks are all power washed. Your siding is crisp. If there's any trim or wood trim that needs painting or rotted trim that needs replaced, those are the buyer's first impressions, taking care of that stuff. Then inside the home, it's making sure your house, all the trim work is clean, a deep, deep clean that might involve some painting. Every house is a little different. If there's dated light fixtures, those are easy, quick fixes to switch out. I might recommend staging. Those are the kind of things in the 4 to 6 weeks. If there's deeper problems going on, such as you might need to replace carpeting or refinish hardwood floors that have gotten scratched up from dogs and stuff like that, I have vendors and recommendations for those home sellers too, but they might need to cushion in a little bit more time for projects like that. When we meet with buyers to prepare them for the market, what we talk about actually isn't price point or square footage, what they need. It's really figuring out what's important to them from a lifestyle perspective. Different neighborhoods that have different things, and depending on what they're looking for, that can help kind of focus too. The second thing to get them prepped is the pre approval. You have to be ready to go, working with a great lender, or if you're paying cash, have all those funds available so there's no surprises. And I would say the third thing in this market is talking about appraisal gap coverage because we're still seeing a lot of that. We're still inching up in price. It's 5% over last year here in Columbus. That appraisal gap coverage and having those funds and explaining what that means. I see buyers make a mistake of falling in love with houses with the cosmetic, cheap, the easy things and kind of overlooking an older roof or over windows because they've fallen in love with how the decor of the house looks and the paint and the light fixtures. Those are some easy fixes, but it's those bigger maintenance things that you want to make sure they're prepared for, or at least have that budgeted in their expenses. If you're thinking about making a move this year, whether it's buying or selling, I'd love to be a resource for you.